shake it, shake it. And if you hear this sound like go bend your back, go bend your knees, baby, shake it to the max. The DJ please turn up the bass to the max. Please just rewind, let me shake.
Nosotros en Puerto Rico! Guys, I love Puerto Rico down. And this time I decided to do a solo trip to Puerto Rico and I had a blast. I literally was so nervous before I went. And honestly, I wasn't nervous. I was more so excited to see what would happen. Like my first solo trip out of the state, not the country, because Puerto Rico is a territory of the US. But I was really excited to see what my trip would entail. And I honestly had a blast. So this is me giving you guys my itinerary for my solo trip to Puerto Rico. So let's go ahead and start us off, okay? So like I said, this was my first solo trip to Puerto Rico. The reason why I decided to pick Puerto Rico is because it's a territory in the US. So I knew I wanted to go out of state and I knew I wanted to go somewhere hot and tropical, but because it was my first solo trip, I didn't want to go anywhere too far. So last minute, literally a month before, or even like 3 weeks before, I booked my flight to Puerto Rico. But honestly, it's been on my mind for a while. Like it was honestly on my mind for 2 months. I went in August, so it was definitely on my mind for a while, but I knew I had to get up out of here, okay? So the first thing on my trip that I booked was obviously my flight. The second thing I decided to book was my hotel. So I decided to stay at Rosalina Boutique Hotel for $597.70 for 4 days and 3 nights. All right, so this is where I'm staying. When you first check in, you basically have your room, and then in it you have a key. I'm staying in numero, I'm not even gonna point at it because I'm outside, but basically you do all that. The only thing I don't like is like if someone drops you off, they can see which unit are you at. That's the only thing I don't like. But other than that, pretty safe, whatever. This is the guest, the front desk. And we put it behind me. So in the morning when you wake up, you have coffee and there's snacks too. I grabbed a cracker this morning. Hopefully I remember to set it up for you guys. So this is the pool, number 1. The first pool. And then you can walk down. And this is the second pool right here. And over here, I guess there's like bug spray, all that, which is cool. And yeah, I don't know who forgot their belongings, so this is where I am. Really like the boutique. I like how close it was to the beach, to a lot of like popular locations in Puerto Rico. It also wasn't too expensive. Like it was my first solo trip, but I also was trying to budget, not really budget, but trying to pay something that wasn't too crazy as a solo traveler. So I really did like my stay here. I did encounter some plumbing issues. I had to call maintenance so that they could come and fix my shower. The drain wasn't properly working. There was a lot of sand buildup, but it didn't take long for them to come. My first night, I did get scared because there was a man literally banging on my door at 11 p.m. But come to find out, it was housekeeping delivering the pillows. My only problem with that was I called for pillows around 4 p.m. So why were pillows getting delivered to my hotel room at 11 p.m. as a solo traveler? I was honestly scared. I did not open my door at all. The next morning, I literally realized it was him. And because I saw the pillows outside of my door, but literally that night I was praying. I was like, oh my God, like not right now, like please, like this can't be my time. Not here in Puerto Rico, what? That is insane. But other than that, I really enjoyed my time here. I can also say that if you are a light sleeper like me, you will literally hear any and everything outside of the doors. They are not really soundproof. I can't hear my neighbors inside of my room, but outside of the room where the pool area is and the lounging area is, I can definitely hear any and everything, to the point where I can hear people's conversations at 6 a.m. If they're blasting music right by the pool, it was okay because quiet hours weren't a thing for real. So yes, that was my experience at Rosalina Boutique Hotel. How did I travel around Puerto Rico? So I didn't take a lot of Ubers, to be honest with you, but if I did have to order an Uber, it costed about $8 to $9 per ride. So if I wanted to go closer to the beach, it costed me about $8 to $9. The only time it was expensive was when I went to Luquillo, where I went horseback riding at. So it was $40 each ride, so $80 in total. But honestly, it wasn't too bad. Like, I honestly didn't have to rent a car, and I wouldn't have wanted to because, again, it was my first solo trip. Like, and I felt like I was in a pretty great location, to be honest. I even walked sometimes. So I walked to the beach. My first night there, I took an Uber to the restaurant, but then I walked back just so I can see how far it was. And I think it was a 15-minute walk. I went to Ropa Vieja Grill, and it honestly was like a 15 to 18-minute walk, which is not an issue for me because I am a city girl and I love walking. So I walked a lot. I did walk a lot, but I also called an Uber. There's one time where I started to walk somewhere that was about 25 minutes away from my hotel, but because it was so hot outside, it was like 93 degrees, I literally stopped mid-walk and called my Uber. And I think my Uber that day costed about like $7 to the restaurant. It was to Bistro Cafe, which I didn't even end up eating at. But yeah, I didn't spend a lot of money on Ubers, to be honest with you. I can't give you the correct price, but I can tell you that I did not order a lot of Ubers. So where should you eat? So I love authentic Puerto Rican food. Honestly, I love anything authentic. If you give me rice, if you give me steak, if you give me beans, give me empanadas, I'm having a good time because I love all four. Well, beans, más o menos. So my first night, I went to Ropa Vieja Grill, and it was amazing. The service was a 10 out of 10. The food was even better. Guys, I went later on in my trip again, and literally the bartender was like, oh my god, I remember you, you're the girl that was here a few days ago. I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm pretty sure she recognized me because of my camera and I was vlogging. But guys, when I tell you it was that good, it was that good. Also, when I went horseback riding at Carabali Rainforest Adventure Park, they did have food there. So while you're on your horseback riding tour, you will stop by a restaurant where they'll serve you pina coladas, any kind of flavor that you want. And they have empanadas and other different snacks that you can buy. And I definitely got an empanada there. Like, literally my two best friends on this trip were literally empanadas and passion fruit drinks. Anything passion fruit was literally like my best friend, honestly. So I ate at Carabali Rainforest Adventure Park. I also went to the Bistro Cafe where I ate at Arena Medalla. But I got an empanada and burger there. It was good. It was like regular, nothing too crazy. I also attempted to eat at Bistro Cafe, but I didn't like where I was sitting. It was just at a real location. I was the only one at the bar, and also I don't like when I can see people making my food, and that's what was happening. I was not a fan of that. I then went on to Los Chamos Arepas where I bought some empanadas. And guys, the next place I'm about to tell you, you literally have to eat there. I ate at Cristención. So their breakfast was so good. Like, next time I'm in Puerto Rico, which I definitely will be going back, I will definitely be going to Cristención. The lines were kind of long, so you do have to get there early to put your name on a waiting list. I don't think you could put your name online, but it did take about like 30-40 minutes for me to be seated. But again, I was a solo traveler, so they just sat me at the bar, and that's where I was able to meet a friend. It was honestly really nice. Definitely engage in any kind of empanada activities. Like, if you see somewhere that's selling empanadas, please do not be afraid to go and get an empanada because, yeah, That's how good empanadas are. Get the steak, get the cheese, get the chicken, get all of the empanadas, get a passion fruit pina colada. And I also got Starbucks. I was so thirsty this day, guys. I literally was on the hunt for something cold to drink. I couldn't find any passion fruit drinks, so I literally just went to Starbucks because I was parched. Literally, I went back to Starbucks that same afternoon because that's how thirsty I was. Like, I should have just gotten a large, but you know what? We move forward. But the Starbucks in Puerto Rico is really good. So, what are some activities that you can do in Puerto Rico? So I went horseback riding. It was really fun. I went with a large group of people, but it really felt like I was with them the whole time. Like, we came in our own group because that's how friendly everyone was. I also went to El Morro, which is a historic landmark in the heart of San Juan, and they have a lot of nice historic buildings that you can definitely visit. I recommend, and it's just nice to walk around. You can do anything there. I also went to the Haitian gallery. I am a Zoe, so I had to go and support my people, and there were so many beautiful pieces in there. Definitely take some money out of your account and purchase something from the gallery because there were so many beautiful pieces over there. I also went to Distro T-Mobile, aka the T-Mobile district, and this night they had a basketball game, and I'm so ignorant. Like, I did not even realize that Puerto Rico had a football team. Like, that is so weird of me, literally. I also ate at the restaurant there, so that's where I ate at Arena Medalla. So I really recommend going to the T-Mobile district. They have fun activities every night. So this night, it just happened to be a basketball game, but sometimes they have free salsa lessons. They have soccer tournaments. Like, it's honestly a really good time for you and your family to chill. I also met so many other different people there. Like, it was a really good time. How do I max out my trip to Puerto Rico? Definitely relax by the pool. I really wanted to take the time to enjoy myself and relax, which was literally the main point of my trip. So I relaxed by the pool. I also went to the beach. I read by the beach, and I also spoke to myself at the beach. Like, it's just something about being by water, feeling the breeze, the ocean breeze, sitting in the sun, and honestly just chilling. It does something to me. So definitely take some time to lay by some water. Also, know a little bit of Spanish. Like, you tell me you don't know how to say hi, como se llama, como se dice, como estás. Like, you're telling me you're going to Puerto Rico and you don't know how to say those things. Like, yeah, go on Duolingo 2 weeks before your trip and learn a little bit of Spanish. It definitely helped me a lot when I met other people where I needed directions or needed help with something, and they were like, oh, yo no hablo inglés, and I was like, oh, I gathered the words. Even though my sentences wouldn't be incomplete, they were able to pick up on a few of the words that I said. So definitely know a little bit of Spanish and meet other travelers. Guys, when I tell you, I met so many people on my horseback riding tour, and when I went to the restaurants, like, speak to the people, speak to the locals, and in my Ubers as well, like, speak to your Uber drivers. Obviously, do not tell them that you are by yourself because that's weird. That is creepy. We do not want to do that. But talk to the people. They're very friendly. One of my Ubers was even trying to get me to go to the Bad Bunny concert. When I was on the horseback riding tour, a lot of people were trying to get me tickets. And I'm like, no, guys, it's really okay. Like, I appreciate it, but I'm okay. Definitely appreciate that. I also spent a lot of time with God. So this goes back to prioritizing my self-care. I spent a lot of time with God. During my trip to Puerto Rico, I was fasting, so I couldn't engage in a lot of the activities that I normally would have engaged in, but it also helped me focus, go back to my main purpose of coming on this solo trip. So do your research, do a lot of the activities that you like to do. This whole trip was for me, so I did a lot of the activities that I like to do. But definitely do your research. Where do you want to stay? Where do you want to eat? What do you like to do? What do you want to do? So definitely do your research on that. Be aware of stray cats and dogs. When I went to the horseback riding tour, there were some stray cats. So if you're not a cat person like me, I am going to be honest. I'm not going to fake the fun. They will be there, so be prepared for that. They're obviously not going to jump on you. Like, they don't do all that. But when I was eating at the horseback riding tour, they were trying to get some of my food, and I was like, and take in the architecture because it's literally so beautiful. Puerto Rico is a beautiful country. I love it. I will definitely be back. So that was honestly my whole trip. Please let me know down below if you have any questions. I'm here to answer. I'm here to support you. But next time you want to go to Puerto Rico, guys, please watch my full itinerary here or on TikTok, okay? I'll even insert the TikTok clip for you guys. Give it to you guys short and sweet and straight to the point. Thank you all so much for clicking on this video and watching it, and I appreciate you so much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, your week. Make it great on purpose, and see you guys in my next video. Bye. I spent 3 days in Puerto Rico on a solo trip, so still my whole itinerary because this was an adventure. So day 1, I flew in, and guys, I just love being around Caribbean people because one thing about it, we're going to club. It definitely put me at ease because it was my first time solo traveling out of state. So I was happy about that. I checked into my hotel room, and literally, guys, this was literally the perfect hotel as a solo traveler. Unfortunately, your girl couldn't stay there for long because I was hungry. I literally researched the closest restaurant that had grilled steak. I love Puerto Rican grilled steak. Like a good rice, beans, steak with side of french fries. Count me in. Like the food was so good and the service was a 10 out of 10. After I ate, I ran across the street to Walgreens because I needed a few pick-me-ups. I woke up bright and early the next morning to go horseback riding. It took me about 30 minutes to go to this destination, and guys, when I tell you, I went as a solo traveler, but it felt like I was in a group the whole time. Well, I was with a group, but it felt like I was with a group the whole time, if you get it. The instructors were so nice. Everybody there in my group were so kind and open to me solo traveling. It really felt like a big family reunion. I met many people who were trying to put me onto local gems and people who were even trying to get me to go to the Bad Bunny concert for the low because they were there for the Bad Bunny concert. And on our horseback riding tour, we also stopped by this restaurant and had to grab me an empanada and a pina colada because one thing about it, 2 things for sure. I love an empanada. Love it down. And the pina colada was so good. If you do come here, they also have ATV riding. They have a restaurant that you can check out. And please do not wear your nicest shoes and your nicest clothes because there's literally horse poop everywhere and it smelled disgusting. After my tour, I went to my hotel room, got cleaned up, and it went to Old San Juan. While I was here, I went to El Moro, and it was a beautiful site, and I took some videos of the graffiti, the I Love San Juan site, and I also stopped by Starbucks because I was so thirsty, guys. When I tell you I was walking this day, but it really felt so good. And on my walk, I went to this Haitian gallery because, you know, I'm a zone, I gotta represent, and guys, there were so many beautiful art pieces in here. 10 out of 10. After I left there, I went on a hunt to find empanadas, and you guys remember, I love empanadas. So my 2 best friends on this trip were literally empanadas and passion fruit drinks. Anything with passion fruit. After that, I headed over to the T-Mobile Center where I honestly just chilled. This night, they were having a basketball game. And guys, I didn't know, my ignorance self, that Puerto Rico had a basketball team. Like, duh, I would have assumed so, but I just never thought about it. While I was there, I ate. I was talking to people. And guys, again, empanada. The next morning, I woke up very early, went to Bistro Cafe. And guys, honestly, I didn't really like where I was sitting. And it was cool, but I didn't like where I was sitting. So I left and I headed over to another restaurant closer to the ocean. While I was waiting for my reservation at that spot, I found another empanada spot. Oh my gosh, guys, the chokehold this had on me. It was literally $5 per empanada, and it was so good. My reservation was finally up, and guys, when I tell you, this breakfast was literally a 10 out of 10. I sat at the bar and I met another solo traveler. He was actually there on a work trip. And guys, I had a blast. Like, it was such a good time. I headed over to the beach, which was down the street. I chilled. I read a book and just relaxed because that was the point of my trip. When I was done with the beach, guess where I had to go? Wopa Vieja Grill. I had to run that back before I left that night. And literally when I came back, I just swam in the pool and just chilled. The next morning, I had to wake up bright and early to catch my flight back home. But guys, when I tell you this is your sign to go to Puerto Rico, please go to Puerto Rico and do it by yourself. It's in the country. The only thing I regret about this trip is not staying longer. Shout out to you, Puerto Rico, and I'll be back.
Take me through that.
me through that.